I'm Steph. I live in this vintage van with my dog, and I've lived in a vehicle for 3 years now. When we first hit the road, I thought I figured out the perfect way to travel and make money on the road. Go to a new place, work a season, move around in the off season, repeat. And I did that for a few seasons, but it just didn't really feel like I landed anywhere, you know? The whole idea of this way of traveling was to be in one place for a little while, explore that area, really get familiar with a new place. I would find a place that I really liked that I could come back to every summer. I liked the structure of it. It wasn't just go, go, go until I didn't feel like it anymore. And then there was just this constant newness of being able to move around. But when I started doing a few of these seasons in a row, I always had the next move in the back of my mind, where I was going to go next, when the jobs were going to be posted, when did the competition start. I always went to places that were very crowded and touristy, so the people factor was just always way too high for me. I just didn't feel like I could ever escape it, because even though I went home to my campsite, I was still surrounded by campers that knew I worked there, so there really just wasn't ever any escaping. And the things about them that were alluring weren't really for workers. I would work a season and then have the next several months to just kind of figure out until the next summer started. But then I just always felt like I was playing catch up and just never really figured it out. I never really felt like this fun travel nomad life started, because I was always trying to figure out just how to like keep my head above water and like have fun, because I wanted to be intentional, make more of my own decisions throughout the day, and just live a more simple life. But all of this other noise didn't give me a chance to get to that, it felt like. And the whole reason why I left apartment life and a full-time job to just go and travel and like fuck around and find out. Like, my adventure never really started, but it didn't feel like a burnout because I didn't really have the space that I fully needed to really evolve in my surroundings. So once I did this a few times in a row and decided, okay, this isn't working, then my ADHD brain kind of did some magic for me. I decided that how I was going to move on the road and flow with the road and flow with the travel, which is what I was craving, I needed to make an equation for it. I needed it to make sense to me. And with that equation, that's how I would move forward and find work on the road, because as I would love to just be paid by social media, still a very small account. So yeah, that's the goal, I guess. But I also just love sharing my stories, and I like having this little archive of videos that I can look back at too. So the equation. I didn't want to work with the public. I have worked with the public for most of my adult career and have paid my dues. I'm all done with customer service. I wanted it to be something that was active, maybe working with my hands, something that wouldn't be sitting around, also entertaining. I need privacy at my site. I need to be able to be done with work and then be home. I wanted to work alone. I didn't want to work on a big team where I had a bunch of coworkers. I just wanted to go to work, do my job, and then be done. So once this equation was created, then I stopped chasing seasonal work. Stopped chasing a job that ended, that was only bam, 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 go, go, go for this amount of time, and then I can be done. I learned that I just can't operate like that. I need more of a flow and a rhythm. I'm not a weekend warrior. I wanted to experience new things. I wanted to learn new things. Flow over structure. So I did that a few times, and that brings me to where I'm at now. By thinking outside the box and exhausting other resources that aren't the mainstream ways to find work on the road, I was able to find private land to work on, where I'm cleaning Airbnbs, I'm surrounded by nature. I work for an owner rather than a corporation. So there's more of a relationship. I'm heard, I'm seen, I'm protected. It's a much slower pace. There aren't deadlines and numbers and overhead and budgets. We're just working to make it work. When I decided to live nomadically, my only real goal was to be free in a way that I can own everyday decisions. Where my water comes from, how much electricity I use, intentional living. A few years before I decided to actually live on the road, I saw a video of a woman who lived in a tiny house on a trailer, and she pulled it with a truck. And that made so much sense to me. I said, yes, that. That just seemed way unattainable, overwhelming. And then later I saw another video of a woman in a van, and I thought, okay. Tiny house and a truck, overwhelming and unattainable right now. Van life, I can do that. I'm ready to do a tiny house. So I got a shed to make into a dry cabin. I have big plans for it. I've started to do a few things, and I'll have a lot more long-form videos of that coming out. And I'm really excited that it doesn't immediately make me feel like I'm drowning. Another goal I have is to then trade the van in for something a little bit more rugged. I really miss my 4Runner and being able to just be able to go on any trail and any campsites. And the van is very limiting. And where we kind of live now, there's so many cool mountain trails that I would love to be able to take a truck up. So something maybe a little bit more rugged is hopefully in the future to go on adventures. So here, there's no end date, there's no end of season, there's no closing date. I can work here until I don't. I love the owner. I love my boss. I go to work and then I'm done. So I'm really excited to be able to have more flow in my job here, plan my trips, plan my adventures, have more structure, how I move and not how I work, you know? Shifting from having a home base and then making the travel part-time, I think that will just make it flow a lot better, and I won't have to worry about any of the other noise while I'm just out and about living and traveling. So while I do still technically live on the road, I'm not here forever. This is just where we're at for now. So while I've been on the road, obviously I've learned so much about myself. I've learned that if something makes sense on paper, it doesn't mean that it's meant to be. And if you're good at something, it doesn't mean you have to like it. And my search isn't more movement, it's just more alignment. And I'm unsure what all of this will turn into, but I'm not really thinking about that anymore because this actually feels like mine. Thanks for watching. See you down the road.